aerospace engineering, I'm gonna politely opt a beep out because I know that I don't know nothing about aerospace engineering. Now, there's some people who will try to act like they know about aerospace engineering so they can front because the male ego is the most dangerous thing on earth, especially the black male ego. Because, and it's not, again, point of the message. What's the point of the message? I ain't here to bash nobody, man. If I got to bash somebody, shit, I got to start myself. If I want to bash somebody, I need to bash myself. And since I love me, I ain't going to bash me. So, hey, I love me some me. I recommend that you love you some you, because I love me some me. So if I'm not here to bash me, then I'm here to educate me. Just like I'm here to educate you, because he who does not know that he or she does not know that they don't know, that's a fool. Unfortunately, we were all punished because we did not know. Nobody sat down and taught us jack shizness. That's why you're on this call today, to express, expose, and expand your consciousness to be the vibrational equivalent. We should have been punished for not being willing to learn. I wasn't, nor did I do that. I would get upset with my kids. Boy, how can you get back in your room? Instead of, boy, come over here. Let me show you how I want you to vacuum the room. I just assumed that they could assimilate it by either watching me, watching their mom, but everybody does things differently. So whenever you assume something, you're making an ass out of yourself. So assuming that somebody knows something and you didn't teach them exactly what you want them to know, that is the number one issue, especially in the Alkebulan culture. Because we automatically assume that everybody's perception is similar to or the vibrational equivalent of ours. That's not true. You get 10 black people in the room, you got 10 different opinions. You can pretty much go for any race, but especially black folks. I can only talk about black folks because I'm black. If I was white, I'd be talking about white folks. If I was Hispanic, I'd be talking about Hispanics. But I'm not. I'm black. That's why I talk about black folks. So don't get mad at me because I'm black. So it's important because we got a serious issue. The serious issue that's facing our demographics is we are being punished because we don't know. And the reason that the dominant culture can punish you because you don't know, because you should know. So since you don't know, it's my job to tell you. That's what a master teacher 33 does. I'm a didactic teacher. I use didactylos. The Bible calls it parabole. Parabole means a parable. That means I speak as one who has authority, and I speak didactically. Didactic means that it's a step-by-step process. Didactylos also means boring because it's so lengthy, because it's so in-depth. So I express, expose, and expand myself as if I'm speaking to a first grader, because I want to make sure that I leave no stone unturned. Unfortunately, the average Archimedean attention span is not long enough to assimilate the didactylos that I am expressing, exposing, and expanding, because we live in a microwave culture. It ain't your fault. You were raised in an environment where you get bored real easy, and if it ain't stimulating, if it's not a bunch of bells and whistles and fancy colors, I ain't got no graphs, I ain't got no this, that. What's up, Sister Diane Coleman? I ain't got no this, I ain't got no that. My shit is simple, but it's effective. So when I do websites, everybody's looking for all these bells and whistles. When I write books, everybody's looking for bells and whistles. When I do shows, everybody's looking for bells and whistles. Everything I do is devoid of bells and whistles and shorts and graphs and bombs and explosions. So I don't do edutainment. I'm not here to entertain and educate. I just do educate. And unfortunately, a lot of people tap out. And I understand. I mean, hey, sometimes I tap out on my own stuff. However, due to the depth of The fact that my father punished me for not knowing. He said, boy, go over there and get that wrench. I'm like, what wrench? That 3/5 socket. I don't know what no 3/5 sockets. I was going to just grab the wrench. There ain't no damn 3/5 socket, boy. I ain't know what a socket wrench was. So we all were raised in a way, what's up, Brother Gregory? By which we were punished for not knowing. But nobody taught us. They just assumed that we were watching them when we was playing. When I was a kid, I wasn't watching my dad. He would tell me, boy, get over here. You might want to learn how to do auto mechanics. My dad was a very good mechanic. He also was a very good builder. He was a man of many, many talents. I ain't pick up none of them. Why? I didn't observe. Whose fault was it? Well, he said it was my fault. But as a father, now that I know I raised my sons, I made sure that I taught them and gave them the tools that they need to be a man, based upon my limited experience. So some of the things that now I know that I taught them probably wasn't that good, because it came from a place of scarcity, because I was teaching them basically to have a mental or poverty disposition, because I didn't know I had a poverty disposition. I didn't know that poverty was a lack of knowledge. I thought poverty was a lack of effort. I thought poverty was a lack of having a plan. I thought poverty was a lack of working hard. I thought poverty was a lack of getting a job. I didn't know that poverty was a mental disposition. I had no idea. My father didn't teach me that. My father didn't teach me, nor anybody in my circle. They didn't teach me and set me down and say, boy, you need to connect with your God-given purpose that's not given by man. Because if a man gives you a position or a title, that man can take your position or your title, because that man is your God. So I knew intuitively I did not want no other man telling me what days I could take off. Still don't. That's why I work for myself. I didn't like nobody telling me how much time I could spend with my family. I didn't like no other man telling me whether I could go on vacation or not. I didn't like no other man determining how much time I could spend with my wife. I ain't gonna go and ask you, excuse me, sir, can I have a day off on Friday, the third Friday? Man, I'm taking the fucking day off anytime I want, bro. Therefore, that's why I had 68 jobs. Like my father, my sons are the same way. That's why we all self-employed. Because see, if you got that mental disposition, that comes from source. Some people don't have that mental disposition. Some people have a mental disposition where they like stability. They don't like creativity. They are designed by God to be mentally stable. So therefore, they don't see that as a flaw. They don't perceive having somebody else tell you what time to get up, what time to arrive at work, what time to take a break, what days you can get off, how much money you can make. They see that as stability because they're forced. They're wise. So you have to, the point of today's message is you, my brother, you, my sister, have to know yourself. No set that soon. What I'm talking about when it comes to being a 336 and don't have nothing to be a 224. So if your numbers, remember, a number is not a number. I just use that word number because that's a common term we all can agree. Numbers are not numbers. Unfortunately, we all got a number is a room. I've never met a human on this earth who understood and was taught runic magic. Were you? I don't know nobody. I've never met nobody in my family, either side, my wife's family, my family. I've never met no clients. I've never met a human on this earth who was an expert in sigils and sigil magic and understood how to write and create their own sigils. Do you? Exactly. That's my point. So we think a symbol that we call the letter, if you take the letter A, you go up and you go down and then you go across. So that capstone sits on top of a pyramid that doesn't have a bottom. So we think the letter A is just part of the English alphabet. We were not taught. I wasn't taught. But I'm being punished. So are you. You are being punished because you don't know what the letter A means. You are being punished right now because you don't know what the letter B means. You are being punished right now because you don't know what the letter C means. So what I do for a living is I break down the meaning. So this shit is proprietary. There's no other human on this planet that I've found, and I've been doing this for 30 years, that takes the meaning. And now that I have access to a self-replicating algorithm called artificial intelligence, oh, bro, it's lights out now. It's scary. I can take somebody like my boy, brother Jesse, and I can just take his name and I can punch it into a computer, which I already did, just his first name. And I put in the meaning, though, of each one of his letters. So what does the letter J mean? Remember, J is the last letter of the English alphabet. But what is the esoteric significance of the letter J? And what is the esoteric significance of the letter E? And then the S. Remember S? All my daughters, their first name starts with an S. Their middle name starts with a D. Their last name starts with an R. SDR. That shit is not by accident, bro. Because I understand the power of letters. I want to ask you the billion-dollar question. So, to my knowledge, there's I can't find it on the internet anywhere. I don't know no other human that can take the meaning of your name and put it into ChatGPT or another and pump out $1 million business. It's so complex. You are so complex. So I punched in Brother Jesse's name, for example. This is just an example. I can put in anybody's name, anybody. So now, so for anybody that don't already have it, again, I'm only charging $99 for a limited time for these first name reports. So these first name business reports, let's go back to Brother Jesse for an example. Hey, what's up, Sister Dolly? And so I took the letter J and I went back to the original runic meaning. Because remember, in the Nordic and in the Celtic and in the Scandinavian, in the British culture, they took stuff from the Egyptians, from the Romans, from Africanus, because remember, Africa was named after a Roman general whose name is Africanus. So Africa is not a Alkebulan name. It's a Roman name. That's why I use the word Alkebulan. So if you go back to Timbuktu, which is the oldest university on the planet, minus, again, what we call Sumner and the Atlanteans, who were, again, the city under the sea. So again, this is what is called Didaculos. That means you got to go all the way back to the beginning of the world. You got to go all the way back to when there was only waves, there was no particles. If you don't go back to waves create particles. So you got to go back to the wave. That's scalar. A particle is an electrical magnetic expression of scalar, which is phonon and photon, which is what we call sound and light. So in the beginning was what? Well, we call it a letter, but it's not a letter. It's an emanation, or what we call, again, a affirmation. It's a affirmation. It's how you create firm, or the firmament. So the firmament is created by what you and I call expressions. But expressions are emanations. It's an electrical magnetic nation. That's how source code creates. So the average out of Ketones, that shit is beyond their pay grade. This is called theomathematics. This is called biblical alphanumerics. And this is also called numerology. Now we know that there are vowels. So in Brother Jesse's first name, how many vowels are there? Remember, vowel is A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. I gotta say this delicately. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, especially us men. What's the purpose of a man? What's the purpose of a man? Men, you ever notice, go to a female prison and then go work in a male prison? What's the difference? Men are pronouns, women are vowels. That's why there's no vowels in the ancient text. This is a patriarchal, this is a masculine, this is a patar culture. The patar, that means father. That means a testicular, testicles, no ovaries. Now, I don't know if you ever worked in a male or seen a male prison. The shit that goes on inside of a male only prison is debauchery on a level that the average human cannot comprehend. I'm talking about Supermax. I'm not talking about what they call the farm system. I'm not talking about the county jail, none of that shit. Now, do you know what goes on in the Supermax prison? In a male prison? You wouldn't believe it. If I told you what men are capable of doing in a group of men, just men only, you would believe it. There would be no wars if the world was ran by women. Women don't start wars. Men do. But why? What does testosterone do to the brain? Now, this is all signed. Ask my boy David Sinclair from Harvard. So, as a man, we are very competitive. So we got to have something to compete. And we like to conquer. And we like to capture shit. We like to build. We also like to protect. We like to provide. Women don't have those attributes and characteristics. Women are more social creatures. Women don't have to capture nothing. They ain't got to kill nothing. On average, modern day women, not so much. Most women now, again, we got these phallic females now. But I'm talking about back in the day. The way it was originally designed. So inside of your name, there is attributes and characteristics to kill, to capture, to hunt. Then there's other attributes and characteristics to nurture, to care, to provide. So your job is to look at how many vowels do you have in your name? How many pronouns do you have in your name? How many consonants do you have pronouns? How many consonants do you have in your name? Your name is a pronoun. But how many consonants do you have in your name? So these consonants and these vowels make up your energy that we call your chi. So your business, most people are in the wrong job. In fact, 99% of the people that I talk to, they're in the wrong job. Or they start the wrong business because they didn't ask source before they started their business. They had an idea because somebody added a verse to their vocabulary. It's called advertisement. So they use your mind to tease with a verse by adding it. So advertisement is Luciferian. Now I know this is contrary to your theology, I understand. But remember, you get punished for what you don't know. You should be getting punished because you don't want to learn. But I teach people every day, but the average out of keep it on, they're not interested in learning. So the Dolly, most folks are not interested in learning. What's up, Brother Mwanga? So I'm not here to punish you because you don't know. I'm going to tell you. Now, after today, if you choose to continue not to learn, that shit's on you. You should not be punished for what you don't know. It's not your fault. But the culture, though, the dominant culture, remember, racism is not, it exists on an individual level, but primarily it's a harmonious arrangement. This shit is organic. That simply means that it is organized. It is structured. So there's systems in place that are racist, if you want to use that term. Now you can bump into one of them good old boys driving down the street late at night, catch you on the wrong side of town. That exists. But on average, racism is systematic. So is ignorance. Ignorance is really not promoted on an individual level. Ignorance is universal. In other words, there are certain organizations, they are devoid. Like you go to some little small towns and you got a bunch of cops and half of them didn't even graduate from high school. Somebody just gave them a badge and a gun because that's Uncle Luke's, cousin, nephew. And Uncle Luke, cousin, nephew, granddaddy was a KKK member. Now this fool got a badge and a gun. And he pulled your black ass over at 12 o'clock at night for driving while black. Well, what the hell you think is going to happen? Now you're going to blame Uncle Luke's nephew. But it's the system. Because there's no way Uncle Luke's nephew should have been given that badge and a gun. So we got to look at this. God set you up so that way you can live outside of that system. But if you don't take the letters that's inside of your name and build a system, because remember, success, my brothers and sisters, is not a secret. Success is a system. God gave you that system. It's called your diaconia. And if you do not have that system, then what you have, you don't have access to the secret. Success is not a secret. Success is a system. It's a step-by-step process that allows you to operate inside of your lane where you can experience financial gain. If you get outside of your lane, you will not experience financial gain. And the average out of keep it on is not operating inside their lane. So if I go back to Brother Jesse's example, so the letter E, let's go back to the letter J. Let me find the letter J. So what I do is I take these letters, the meaning. Now, the meaning that I have extrapolated doesn't come from where most people get the meaning of their names from. So the letter J means, and again, I'm reading this out of my book. Everybody already has this. Letter J represents aspirations, the letter J is the first consonant. If the letter J is the first consonant in your name, and it is in Brother Jesse's name, that means the bearer of that letter possesses an unyielding desire not to give up and will therefore find success eventually. If your name starts with the letter J, you're guaranteed success because you refuse to quit. So when you meet somebody named Jessica, or you meet somebody named Jackie, or you meet somebody named Jesse, or you meet somebody named James, or you meet somebody named Janice, the fact that their name starts with the letter J, they will live their entire life and they have no clue that they cannot fail. So the enemy, remember, you are being punished for what you don't know. You shouldn't be, but you are. Because why? God says you should be a grown-ass man or a wombed man. You should not be going over the basic teachings of Jesus Christ and Him crucified every mother beep day. Since you do, you are cursed. I ain't saying shit. It's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 8, 9, and 10, where God Himself said, I'm going to send you a strong delusion, boo-boo, because you refused to elevate. Now remember, your problem is not with me. Your problem is with Source. So you in Groundhog's Day because you refuse. You shouldn't be punished for what you don't know, but you are being punished. You should be punished because you don't want to learn. See, the universe, it doesn't give a gravity doesn't care if you're old, if you're young, if you're black, or if you're white. If you don't believe me, climb your ass up on the roof and jump off. See if gravity does not affect you because of your lack of knowledge. You can take a newborn baby, God forbid, put it on the roof, and if that baby climbs off that roof, does gravity not affect the baby because the baby does not have and was not given time to understand the law of gravity? No. Universal law doesn't give a mother beep about your ignorance. Therefore, the Bible, and I know y'all Negroes like y'all Bibles. I ain't mad at you though. The Bible says my people perish for lack of knowledge. I ain't say that. The Bible did. So you ain't got no problem with the devil, and the devil ain't got no problem with you. The fact the devil don't give a mother about you. You're not even worth the devil's time. You gotta remember the devil's a high vibrational frequency, wave of vibration. You think the devil gonna send one of his imps after you, man? Like you not you personally, but you know. You have to realize, brothers and sisters, that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. If you get knowledge, you don't perish. That's why I got out of the game. I don't perish because I got knowledge. And I'm trying to share knowledge with you. And the number one knowledge with you is if your name starts with the letter J, you can't experience whatever you're experiencing. It's not mother beep possible. What if you're born in the month of November and your name starts with the letter J? You like a god among peasants. But you probably living like a peasant because you don't know. So knowledge means you're ignoring facts that are present. Oh, that's what poverty is. I said knowledge, but poverty. That's what poverty is. Poverty is ignorance. Ignorance means you turn your back on facts. The facts are there. Anybody can go to ChatGPT and just type in any question right now, and you get the answer. Anybody can do that. A 3-year-old, well, maybe a 5-year-old can do that. So how come you're not doing it? So nobody can stand before God and say, I didn't know. Oh yeah, you know. You just didn't want to know. So once again, my brothers and my sisters, we are being punished for not knowing. Because we have an opportunity to learn. You have every day, all I do every day is research and study. I get paid to do this though because I chose to. You can make the same choice. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. So let's get to the solution. Doc, you keep talking about the problem, brother. I'm just here because I just want to pay my light bill on time, homie. Man, I'm with you. That's why I'm here. I don't care if Buddha's God, if Allah's God. Why do people fight about religion? Can somebody explain it to me? One of y'all religious zealots. Why do people fight, argue? Why do you promote your religion? Like, is it your job? Now, we believe, and now, maybe you didn't read Matthew 23. If I had time, I would read it. Because it says that anybody who converts somebody, they make that person twofold more candidate of hell than they did before their conversion. Matthew 23. Please read it before you try to attack me, Christian. Please. And just answer the question. Remember, I don't debate, I just educate. I'm a master teacher. I do this shit on a master level. This shit is mastery. So don't come for me unless I call you. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all, I'm just playing. Don't hang up, Sister Dolly. So what are you saying, Doc? Well, I'm saying that there are no problems. Now, men, we create problems, but God doesn't. So the universe is fearfully and wonderfully made. So are you. That's what the Bible says. So God doesn't make junk. The real one, not the one in your church. So I wrote a book that destroyed the narrative that everybody believes. It's called The Conqueror. Everything in this book I take out of the Bible, which is crazy. The Bible tells you that the Bible is not true. From the perspective of the God of the Bible. I know. That's tough for the average. Just keep it out. That's why you should read my book, The Conqueror. Who's the Lord of this world? Who's the prince over the power of the air? There's thousands and thousands of scriptures in the Bible that break it down. I like one that says in Philippians 2:6, though he was God, he did not think it to be equality, to be equal with God. So we could sit here and we could go through and we could break down 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. But I've done that so many times. If you're new to this, see, I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Then you should read 2 Corinthians 4:4. Send it to your reverend, your doctor, or your bishop, and have them read it, and then have them explain it. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. So at night, that's, is that not darkness? But darkness also means lack of knowledge. Darkness of this world. So somebody creating this lack of knowledge. Somebody's creating the fact that we don't know anything about rooms. And that's demonic. Remember, everything that I've learned that has been of value, especially monetarily, is stuff that's demonic. And what every Christian that I've ran into is afraid of. Everything that I've learned that has some really, really really profound meaning that allowed me to move forward spiritually is what the church calls demonic. I find that shit remarkable. So I'm light years ahead of pretty much every Christian that I know, only because I read in 2 Timothy where it says God is not giving me a spirit of fear. So even if the devil is real, even if the hell is real, even if there is demons, I don't give up. Why? God gave me power to tread upon snakes and scorpions and all power of the enemy. All power of the enemy. So even if there is an enemy, why would I be afraid? So that's why I can't hang out with Christians. Like, I don't understand the fear factor. I'm trying, but Jesse, I've been working on it, brother. And the more I think about it, the more stupid it is. It doesn't make sense. Like, even if there is something out there that's a bad guy, even if there's a boogeyman out there, you got a baseball bat and knock his ass in the head, he'll pass the fuck out. But people are afraid of the boogeyman. I understand. My people perish for lack of knowledge. So how do we get this knowledge? There's all different types of knowledge. The bad guy is the bad guy because he understands that God is not giving you a spirit of fear. In fact, God made you his ambassador while you are on this foreign land. So you are God's representative here on earth. The word ambassador means in place of. So God said, well, I'm not going to come down there and hang out on earth, but you know what? I'm going to send Brother Jesse down there, let him hang out down there. I'm going to send, Brother Gregory down there, and I'm going to let Brother Gregory. So God says, you know what? I'm going to send Brother Gregory in my place, and I'm going to let Brother Gregory hang out. God, the real God now, the big one, source, the Pleroma, the Peru says, man, I'm going to send Brother Mwanga down there. Brother Mwanga is going to be my representative down there, so that way I ain't got to go down there. I got a bigger fish to fry. The big G says, you know what, I'm going to send God a show to the west down there, and I'm going to let Sister Cheryl hold down the fort for me. God says I'm going to send Sister Coleman down here, and I'm going to give Sister Coleman a specific task, and I'm going to hide it inside of her gut. So God put the gut initiative inside of Sister Coleman. And so now Sister Coleman has a feeling. God put it inside of Sister Dolly. So now Sister Dolly has this feeling. So when 2 Corinthians 4:4 pops up, it says Satan, Lucifer, that old dragon, he transformed himself and his ministers into angels of light. He sit in Moses' seat, like it says in Matthew 23. He want to be seen. He want to be in charge. So the 1%ers, they in charge. Those are the people that run the show. So how can 13 families that run the whole world? How's that possible? 8 billion people are controlled by a handful of people. That's crazy to me. But we got to understand that handful of people, guess what they got that you don't? They got no sum. That's a Latin phrase that means to know thyself. Oh yeah. They know their blood type is their God type. Your blood type is your God type. They know that blood is congealed light. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't want to hang out with them 13 original families. They smoke your ass like a Cuban cigar. They'll roll you up and puff, puff, pass. Yeah, Brother Timothy, you don't want that, brother. So the 13 original families, they know about congealed light. They know that you are a slowed down, you are a dumbed down light being. And they use phonons and photons to keep you oscillating and vibrating on a lower frequency. Because if you ever was to go outside in the sun and let the rays of the sun animate the crystals and the magnetites and the calcite crystals inside of your brain and your spinal cord, you would illuminate your pineal gland and you would be connected instantly with God, the real one. You would transliterate, you would be like on the Mount of Olives. Be ye transformed, how? By the renewing of your mind. It means the word mind there means metamorpho. Metamorpho is a Greek word. It means like the word pistis, pistuo, and pytho, which means to induce. It's an induction. Just like it's an electrical magnetic term, to induce oneself to believe by one's own words. You don't need no reverend, no doctor, no mother, bishop. You just need to believe. But we got a conundrum. There are advertisements. It's called advertising. So there's clever marketing campaigns. And those external demonstrations, they override internal revelation. My people perish for a lack of gnosis, a lack of knowledge. There ain't no devil and no demon. I ain't saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that, boo-boo, the reason why you got this thing that's called an issue or a situation is because you've turned your back on gnosis and knowledge. So my job is just to equip you with the vibrational significance of you. You have been given. Past tense. Brother Gregory, is past tense, bro. It's in your DNA. It's in you. You have this treasure. Where's it at? What's my treasure? Somebody tell me where my treasure at, man. Where's my brother Muwanga, where my treasure at, bro? Where's my treasure? I know where your treasure at. It's inside of you. We have this treasure hidden in earthen vessels. What is this treasure? The Christos. But we got a conundrum. The average out of Kibilan don't know what the Christos is. They think it's some dude walking around with a sheep. Therefore, they miss the forest, Brother Gregory, because the forest got a bunch of trees in it. So the average out of Kibilan, they don't understand the greatest story never told. What is the greatest story never told? Crest, not Christ. C-H-R-E-S-T. Unfortunately, Negroes perish for lack of knowledge. Non-Negroes too. So you got one job. I got one job. Remember, you are being punished by the universe for not knowing. Because you should know by now. No excuses, bro. You ain't got no excuses. Knowledge is out there. So, to stop being punished, I recommend that you get in line with your God-given design. It's just a suggestion. You can do whatever you want. You're a grown-ass man. You know what I'm saying? Or a wombed man. So, the only way to get out of Groundhog's Day is to pick up your sword. I love the movie King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword. Anybody seen that movie King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword? In the movie King Arthur, look at the word King Arthur. King Arthur. Like I said, slow. People in the back. King Arthur. Oh. You didn't get it? Dr. Martinet, did you get it, Dr. Martinet? King Arthur. Oh, but Timothy, did you get it, Brother Tim? Brother Tim, you get it? Oh, yeah, I didn't get it. So, Reverend Cheryl, I know Reverend Cheryl got it. Reverend Cheryl, you got it? King Arthur. Sister Carol, I know Sister Carolina got it. King Arthur. King, he's the author. How many books have I written? The fact that he's the author, that shit made him king. Why do I write so many books? People ask me all the time, Doc, you got 300, how many books you got? Like my boy, when I was on Brother Michael Field's show the other day. Like, damn, dude. How many books? King. I'm the author. The fact that I'm an author, that made me king. Y'all better stop playing. But what made King Arthur king? Y'all remember he had a bloodline. His bloodline was the Pen Dragon. Look at the word. Pen Dragon. Look at the word. Pen. The pen is mightier than the sword. Pen make you a dragon. Man, y'all, I'm trying to help y'all today. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help them, Brother Jesse, but they're not listening. They're not listening, Brother Jesse. I'm trying to help you. Pen. The pen is mightier than the sword, Brother Gregory. The pen. This is King Arthur and the Legend. Y'all know this is a true story? Google Pendragon. P-I-N and the word dragon. What makes you a fire-breathing, flaming sword? God put a flaming sword after you ate and bit the apple, aka you ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So God put a flaming sword to keep you from coming back and eat from the tree of life, because otherwise you would be stuck forever in a low vibrational state. So that flaming sword, only King Arthur could pull the sword from the stone. Everybody stop playing. This is not a game. You cannot pull your own sword, which is take the S and put it at the back. Remember that old saying? Sticks and stones. Sticks and stones, Brother Jesse. They put the truth in plain sight. Sticks and stones. The sword was inside the stone, and no man could pull the sword from the stone. No man could pull the sword from the stone. You are the only one that can pull the sword from the stone, because the sword is your words. Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. The tongue is your sword. So when you over and you under and you put that penis to punani. Pen represents the penis. Paper represents punani. That's sex magic. This is not for new believers. So when I take my pen and I put it on paper, I'm calling down fire from heaven. I'm taking shit from the invisible realm and I'm pulling it into the visible realm. How do I know? Habakkuk 2:2. Take the vision, write it down, so that those that read it can run with it. You have no power. Where there is no vision, Negroes cast off restraint. You do not have the ability to exercise self-control, to get your ass up off the sofa and get shit done. Why? Well, there is no vision. You must engage in spiritual sex magic. It's called exogenesis. X-E-N-O and the word Genesis. Don't tell nobody I told you. But where does all this start at? It all starts with the letters in your name. So if I take the letter J, the letter E, the letter S, the letter S, and the letter E, and I put it in the chat GBT, it gave me about, I stopped counting at 30 books. I asked it one question. I wrote some stuff down that, well, I don't want to give away the cow. If I give away the cow, but the Jesse they're not going to buy the milk. So I can't give away the cow. I would like to give away the cow, but hey. So if you look at Brother Jesse's name, you can pick anybody's name. I'm just picking on Brother Jesse today. I just finished looking at this book. One of the things that talks about is exceptional sales, which is another word for creativity. Exceptional creativity. Not just creativity. Brother Jesse is a 303. Exceptional. That means that his ability to create is far beyond the average. You have to keep it on. And if you look at exceptional, when I say exceptional, what do I mean? That means it's above and beyond the average. Exceptional requires a specific combination, a specific skill set. See, to be exceptional, it requires you to basically be able to do things that other people find difficult. And you do them on a very high level. But then when you look at all of the attributes and characteristics of someone like, again, let's using Brother Jesse as an example. When you put it into the computer, it gives you things that somebody with the letter J can do. It also gives you things that somebody with the letter E, the letter S, and the letter E. So one of the things that it pumped out was, high performance. Another thing was effective selection or effective recruiting. Um, Another thing that pumps out is nurturing a positive nurturing. Another thing was encouraging. Now each one of these are businesses. Each one of these are on the low end. This is a book. On the high end, it's $1 million business. Effective teaching, open communication, mutual respect, creating supportive environment, teamwork, creating great role expectations, assembling and collaborating and sharing knowledge. Assembling, collaborating, and sharing knowledge. Now, all of these were niches for somebody who has a name, Jesse. And this thing, it will pump out as many as you ask. I just stopped at 10. What if I typed in 20? Another one that said was facilitating, brainstorming, peer-to-peer collaborating. You notice all of this has to do with like teamwork, participating, performance enhancement. Why? That's all the attributes and characteristics inside of each letter. So what if I put your name into ChatGPT, but it has to be the meaning? Otherwise, you just can't put J. You got to know what the meaning means. So I haven't found, because I've been using and doing meaning reports before artificial intelligence came out. So I have an unfair advantage because everybody's scrambling now to try to figure out, how do you talk to artificial intelligence? It's just like talking to God or source. Even though artificial intelligence is not God, don't get that, and it's not source. In fact, it's probably, if I'm a betting man, probably the opposite of God. We're going to put it that way. But at this point, it's still programmable. It's not totally sentinel yet. So it still can be used in a benevolent manner. So what does that mean? That means that each attribute and characteristic inside of your name can pump out anywhere from 1 to, let's say, 10 different niches for each letter of your name. Now, the thing that I love about using that is it's not man-made. It's actually innate. These are attributes and characteristics that are actually inside of you. Now, I could take anybody's name, but the hardest thing that everybody has to do is, how do you determine the meaning of your name? Now, you can go online. There's a lot of different websites that give you meaning, and I've tried. You guys know I've been doing this for a long time. So I've tried, especially the best one I found was this website called Kabbalism, or Kabbalion, which is based upon a Kabbalah, which is based upon Hebrew. But in the Hebrew language, there's 22 letters instead of 26. So if your name is, let's say, Kimberly, and in the Kabbalah, if you type in that name, Kimberly, in the Kabbalah, it comes out and it spits out certain attributes and characteristics for the K, for the letter I, for the letter M, for the letter B, for the letter E, for the letter R, for the letter L, for the letter Y. And if you put all of the meanings, this is what I do. I take all of the meanings for each level, I put them all together, and then I implement the meanings into the computer. And then the computer say, based upon the meaning of your name, this would be a great venture for you. Because why would it be a great venture for you? Because it's literally easy for you. Easy means automatic. It means that there are certain things that comes, I use the word automatic, another word for easy. There are certain things that is a natural extension of the soul. We'll put it that way. And so your job is to find and connect the natural extension of your soul. That means that you're doing what loves you instead of what you love. See, I like to do what I love. But I found out that when it comes to paying my light bill on time, because remember I had 68 jobs and 23 failed businesses. So I had to change because what I was doing, it wasn't working. So what did I do? I did exactly what I'm telling you. What I did was I had to figure out a way by which I could make what I do every day something that I could get paid for. And I was good at talking. So I took my skills with talking, but talking in what manner or in what way? Because anybody can talk, but how do you get paid to talk? How do you get paid? How do you get somebody to pay you for what you say? Well, whatever you're saying, it must be creative. It must be, meaningful. Number one, it must be problem solving. It must be something that assists people with solving problems. So the question that I have when I started was, what problem do I have? So when I started this many, many moons ago, I just asked myself, man, what problem do I got? And the thing that stood out in my own life was I didn't know what to do. I tried a lot of stuff, but the things that I liked doing, nobody was willing to pay me to do. So I had to figure out, okay, I like working out, I like talking, I liked researching what I call esoteric knowledge. I was really inquisitive. I wanted to figure out why we here, what works, how come it works? How come certain things work and then some other things don't work? Now, nobody else was really interested in that kind of stuff. But guess what? Wasn't nobody willing to pay me because I didn't have a degree. And I wasn't from Harvard and Yale or Princeton and Brown. So nobody was going to pay no short black man to talk about biology. So I had to figure out something. And you know what I found? I have a set of skills, meaning I have life experiences. I've experienced certain things in my life. And so based upon my life experiences, I was able to take those experiences and marry that with the things that come easy for me. And bam, that's when I was able to create what I now call the life management system. And I've been doing it ever since. Because it's something that comes very, very easy for me because my name establishes my lane. So what I do for a living now is help other people use their name to establish their lane. Because guess what? Everybody on this planet has a God-given name. I don't care who you are. Everybody has one. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, inside of your lane or inside of your name is your God-given lane. So everybody, it's very important that everything that you're searching for is searching for you. So in conclusion for today's message, the most important thing is if you don't have your God-given lane, if you don't really know your God-given lane, then that creates what we call toxic shame. If you're not right now, as I'm speaking to you, living and operating inside of your God-given lane, you don't have this feeling that I have. Notice I didn't say money. I didn't say health. I didn't say wealth, health, wisdom, or relationship. Those are all the results of maintaining a feeling. The feeling can be equated to what we call a mother's feeling for her child. How do you feel about your children? Another way of equating the feeling that you have to have is If you knew you had way more money that you could spend in your entire life, if you had the ability to positively affect someone in a positive manner who had a health issue, and you understood what it's called now, the longevity science, or centurious science that is being promoted or talked about a lot. And if you understand what they call never mother never, or NNM, which I talk about inside of my book, Deals with Nutrition. If you understood ketones, if you understood how fasting, whether you're fasting while full, like I do, because protein has no nutritional value, or whether you do a water fast, it releases anywhere from 200 to 2,000% more growth hormone, which is the key to reverse aging. And you had that knowledge, so that way you could assist yourself and anyone else who had a health issue. So you had all the money that you could ever want. That means no matter how much money you spend, you will never run out of money. In other words, the money that you have, let's say you put it in the bank, and the interest, you just live off the interest. Somebody gave you, let's say, $1 billion. I don't know what the interest off $1 billion is a month, but I know it's probably close to $1 million. So no matter how much money you can blow through $1 million a month, then you might need therapy. You might need some. You might need to, you might need prayer. But let's say you have unlimited money, you have the keys to health, you have access to all knowledge because you know me, or you know the same thing I know, and you understand how relationships work. You know the energy game, which I've been teaching since I started this. How would you feel? So, if you had the keys to wealth, health, wisdom, and great relationships, how would you feel? Like, honestly. If you knew you couldn't die, if you knew, even if you knew that your physical body, like your car, is going to get old and you got to buy a new car, you got to upgrade, like the movie Upgrade. So let's say you could go behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, and see the wizard behind the curtain. Let's just say you had access to that information. That means you don't feel dead because you know what happens after you die. You know that there's no such thing. You know that you change form and you come back again. Or you go to another frequency, wave vibration, another earth, another dimension, whatever happens. But let's say you know, and you got proof. So it removes this thing that we call fear. So you got no fear of death. So that means when you sleep at night, you do what I do every night. You have this peace that passes understanding. People don't understand it. They don't know why, because you should be stressed out. They look at your life and they're like, man, your life is hard. I couldn't do what you do. Or what? But for you, hey, it's easy. How would you feel right now if you knew the answers to every question that you have? Like the serious questions. What happens after you die? Where do you go after you die? Who is the God of gods? Who's source? Is Jesus Lord? Is it Buddha? Is it Muhammad? What if you knew the answers to all of your religious questions? What if you knew how women think? Because remember, women are from Mars and men are from Venus. So men, ladies, we just want to be respected. We want to be valued. We want to be seen as somebody that has worth and value. And women, y'all want to be loved. Y'all want to be cared for. From the perspective of, not necessarily taken care of, although that's part of it, but it's more so spiritual protection. Like, our women have the same thing. They want to be number one. They want to know because they want you to make them feel like they're number one in your life. Every woman does that. Everyone wants that. So let's say you know how to do that. You know how to make yourself and other people feel that. Well, you would have something that most people, in fact, nobody else has. Very few people that I've encountered have that feeling. That is wealth. Wealth is what we call a feeling. Science calls it a field. It's something about, I like the way Dr. Joe Dispenza breaks this down, and my boy Greg Braden, Dr. Bruce Lipton breaks it down using biology. And what science has found out that your feelings create the field, and the field creates what is real. Scientifically proven. Now you may disagree, but they got scientific proof, Brother Gregory. So no matter what you personally believe, there's scientific proof that say that if, like I told my kids, when my youngest daughter transitioned, when Shamora transitioned, and I shared with them the importance of finding positive. Yeah, of course you're gonna miss. I miss my daughter. But what does that make you feel like? If you miss somebody, how do you feel? How do you feel if, what if you want something to happen that can't happen? What if I was sitting here and I want to bring my daughter Shamora back? I want to go. What if I wanted to, the same person that transitioned, what if my goal was to bring that person back, and I would not be happy unless that happened? I would destroy my whole life. Because that feeling that I would feel would create my aura. And that aura would attract people on that same level. People on that level, they're not good people. People on that low vibrational level, we call those ghosts. We call those jinns. We call those sprites. We call those genies. Those are disembodied spirits. So you don't want to be on that level. So you can have that thought for a day, maybe two, maybe a week, maybe a month. But after that, you want to go back higher where God is at. Love, joy, peace. That's money. See, you are punished because of lack of knowledge. The Bible says that my people are destroyed. I didn't say it. Don't get mad at me. Your issue is not with me. I'm just a messenger. Hosea 6:5 or 5, whatever. I think it's 6:5. Yeah. Hosea 6:5 says it. I'm just regurgitating what I got in the Bible. I just found out that it actually works in real life. I don't want to be the bearer of good news. Because the good news of the ghost spell is it's a spell. So to cast a spell on yourself, you got a spell. King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword. A sword is a S word. Take the S and put it at the back. Instead of S word, take the S out. You got word. Then put the S at the back. Now you got words. A sword is your words. So on my wall up there, that's what I got up there. And I read it every day. Sword is my word. My shield is my kirka on my circle. So the key, my brothers and sisters, for you to be successful in this life is for you to walk in the power of your words, of your sword and your shield. For you to no se te sum, pick up your sword, to know thyself. As I said at the beginning of the show, I've done all my kids, myself, and most of my clients. And you know what the hardest thing is when I did Brother Jesse's name? The hardest thing is like, which one we're going to do first? What I mean? Like, it pumped out like about 30 books. Like, that's dumbing it down. All 30 was like, awesome. It pumped out, and I say it, I mean, I put in the meaning of what is the meaning of it. So what if I put in the meaning of your name? You know what's going to pump out? Your name. It will tell you, now what if you don't agree with it? This is what happens. Because I guarantee you that you're probably going to disagree with it. Like if I pump in the name Kimberly, which I did already, because I have, a client by name Kimberly, and I remember the meaning. You know what it said for the meaning? The number one thing for if your name is Kimberly, what you should be doing right now, bar anything else, spiritual growth and personal transformative work. What does that mean? Now, let's close with, again, the meaning of the K, the I, the M, the B, the E, the R, the L, the Y. Each letter has a specific meaning. And it takes these specific meanings and it puts them in a formula. What's up, Brother Michael? Brother Michael Fields, what's up, my brother? And it puts them in a formula. Notice the formula, though, that it puts them in. This is crazy because, each one of these words, each word, brothers and sisters, life and death is in the power of the tongue. I love what it says in Hebrews 4:12. Everybody know Hebrews 4:12, right? The word of God is alive, powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword. Word, sword. Has the ability to do what? To divide. 5 levels. It has the ability to divide spirit. That's 1. Soul. Number 2. Joint and marrow. That's the body. That's 3. And it is a discerner of the thoughts. That's 4. And the intent. That's your gut. 5. It's a 5-dimensional book. So if your name is Kimberly, it simply means you are on this planet to help people spiritually grow and to help people bring about their personal transformation. If you know anybody that's named Kimberly, they've been doing that with their children. They've been doing that in their relationships. They've been doing it with their family members. They just not getting paid. So how can you be so great at what you do but not get paid for it? Because we don't know how to create systems around what we do. That's what I do for a living. Everybody do. I remember doing Brother Timothy's. Same thing. Type in the name Timothy, man. It's a powerful name. So you've been doing this your whole life. You've been. If your name is Kimberly, you've been helping people grow spiritually your whole life. And everybody that you meet, you have a powerful impact on their life. And you help people transform. Now all you got to do is start charging people. How? By only working with people who are ready. Right now, you wasting all your time and all your energy trying to convince people that are not ready. Take your energy out. Tell people if people can't see you, it's because you can't see yourself. So the moment that you see your worth and value, everybody else can. And people will be happy to pay you because they know you. They've seen you transform everybody else's life. They're like, I'm ready to be transformed. So your job is to simply, again, target individuals seeking to enhance their spiritual well-being and navigate the extreme, let's use the word adversity, or the extreme landscape of health and spirituality. Provide resources, courses, blah, 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 blah. All I did was take the meaning of the letters that make up the name, like I did with Jesse and Timothy, my name. I did all my kids' names, same thing. That's where you start today. Now remember, I do this for $99. So if you're not a part of the Kingdom Millionaires Training Center, you should do this. Whether you got a 9 to 5 and you work in blah, 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 you want to do this because this gives you a feeling. All this is verification. I've never, since I've been doing Deaconry reports and doing this, now that artificial intelligence here just makes it easier, all this is what? What am I doing? I'm just telling you what you already know. I don't care what your name is. I type it in there and you will tell me, yeah, I've been doing that all my life. Exactly. So it's not nothing new. It ain't going to be no deep revelation. In fact, you will be like, man, I already knew this, Doc. You didn't tell me nothing new. All I'm doing is confirming to you what you already know. Now, once I confirm it to you, then all you do next is what? Then you do what I do. You create a book. Now we got artificial intelligence that can do. You can write a book now in 3 seconds. Now you got to add your personal information in there. You got to make sure that you put you in the book. Otherwise, it's not going to sell. Nobody's going to be able to connect with it. But the framework, let's say the chapter outline. You get the chapter outline and then you just kind of fill in the chapters. You take that one book, then you do 3 modules. What's a module? A module is just a video or an audio tape. What I'm doing right now is a module. You can make it. You ain't got to do it as long as I do. You can do it for 5 minutes. Shit, you can do it for 2 minutes. Where do you get your module information from? From your book. The 3 main points of your book. Those are 3 main points that transform people's life. Put that into your module. What do you got? You got your book. You got your modules. Next, you need a platform where I can go and buy it. So you go to Stripe. You go to Vimo. You go to PayPal. You set that up, and then you set up a landing page. We call it a website. And then every day you share your website on social media, and you do videos, and you tell people what you've been doing. This is not new business. Do not start something new. Tell me what you've been doing since you were 5. That's it. You can't come and talk about something and you brand new, like you just started water skiing. You ain't been water skiing, and all of a sudden you want to be an expert in water skiing. No, what you've been doing since you was 5. Turn that into a product, a service, or an information, and watch how fast you blow up. So my brothers and my sisters, again, just go to the website, masterteacher33.com. Click on the link that says donation. Cost is $100 for just your name, and it's going to give you 5 different business options. I'm stopping it at 5 instead of doing a bunch because it gets more confusing. Really just want to take the first one. If you need help putting it into a book, blah, 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 then I have done for you courses that start from $500 all the way up to the granddaddy, which is a lifetime relationship with me, basically. That's at 20 grand, where I'm working with you every day for the rest of your life. You stuck with me like Chuck. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. It's showtime. This your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm going to see y'all at the top. God bless.